Lauren Murphy is with us, the title challenger in the flyweight division. The big time UFC pay-per-view, September 25th. Lauren will be taking on Valentina Shevchenko, and there's so much to talk about there, but this is about you and your story to get to this point from picking up this sport like not that long ago, being one of the more improbable title challengers on a 5-fight win streak. I know you are living and acting the role of title challenger, but do you have a few pinch me moments day to day where you're like, I'm not sure this was supposed to be me?
No, no, I don't know why people think I'm so improbable. I have held professional titles in 3 different weight classes. I've won the belt for every promotion I've ever been signed to. I've come through and win many, many fights as a heavy underdog. I've never been finished in my career. All my losses are very close losses. Some of them are quite controversial to people at the highest level in the sport. I've fought tough people my whole career. So when people say like, oh, it's so improbable, it's so weird that you've made it to the flyweight championship, I'm like, why? To me, it doesn't seem weird at all.
Let me ask you why then. Why did we miss that? Where I give you a lot of credit for your answer. Of course, that should be like, F you guys. I knew this all along. What did we miss along the way? Because we can't say anything negative. Your run to get to this point, you have become a complete fighter and a title threat.
Yeah, I'm one of the most complete fighters on the roster. I'm good everywhere. My ground game is sick. I'm a multiple-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. I'm very, very, very strong in the clinch. In fact, I've got a knockout in the clinch not too many fights ago. You know, I hit very, very hard. My stand-up has improved with every fight. I don't think anybody can deny that I've looked better and better every fight, even all the way up to this point. It's not like I'm on a decline. I don't know. Why do you think you guys missed it?
I don't know. Maybe we're just a bunch of a-holes here, keyboard basement warriors here. I don't put a lot of stock in our opinion from time to time, although they do pay us nicely to espouse it out there. But UFC 266 will be your chance, your moment. And obviously, congratulations on getting here. Do you carry, or I guess I want to ask it like this, because, you know, betting wise, anybody that's facing Valentina, because you got to give her a flower. She's incredible. One of the best of all time. You're going to be a big betting underdog. Are you feeling that moniker, that aura of I'm the underdog, I've got nothing to lose? Or are you feeling like, screw the odds? You know, it's 2 women. We're going to lock the cage. Let's do this thing.
A little bit of both. I've been the underdog so many times in my career. Like so many times in my career. Out of, I think I have 19 fights. I think 19. And I've probably been the underdog for like 17 of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, something, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but something like that. And so I feel a little bit of both. Like, okay, here we go. I'm the underdog again. That's okay. Felt this many, many times. And also like we were talking about, like, I believe in myself. I believe in my team. I believe in the hard work that I've put in. And my job that night is to go out there and carry out the game plan that my team has come up with and fight to the best of my ability. And I'm just going to focus on that. And when I focus on those kinds of things, when I'm just staying focused in the moment, I don't think about like, what does everybody else think about me? What do they all think about the odds? Like, I wonder who bet on me. I don't know. All that stuff is very external. It's kind of out of my control. And so I just try to stay focused on what I can do and stay focused in the moment.
Well, look, you know, to be fair, if we were saying why some of us would think of you as a surprising title challenger, maybe it's because you did start off your UFC career losing 4 of 6 and you turned it around in such incredible fashion. So looking back on that, how did you mentally get through a tough patch where sometimes you don't come out of a patch like that with a job, and you have turned that around and really put on an impressive win streak?
Perseverance. So perseverance is it's a trait that I possess. I think I'm a very tough person mentally and physically. I'm the kind that, you know, it's like there have been times where I thought, okay, I have the choice. I can either give up now or I can keep going. And just the thought that I would have to look at myself in the mirror and know that I quit, know that I gave up, that I stopped fighting because I was coming off a couple losses instead of riding it through to the end. That was something I could not accept about myself. But one thing that I think has made such a huge difference is I've changed camps and I moved to Houston and I'm working with coaches that are really, really good. And I love the camp that I'm with, and I'm enjoying the process more than ever. You know, I love being a fighter. I love the life that I get to live. And so I feel like, you know, love is power. And I love what I do. You know, I really love what I do. I love the life I get to live. I'm surrounded by good people, and I have a lot of gratitude, and that really fuels me a lot. And so the win streak started when I changed camps, and I'm just going to keep doing what we've been doing for the last 5 fights. It's been working out really well so far.
Well, you've been an impressive fighter across 2 divisions. You were the bantamweight champion with Invicta, but how much has UFC opening the flyweight division been a blessing for you? Are you significantly better in your eyes at this weight class compared to 135?
Yeah, the girls at bantamweight were quite large. Even at bantamweight, I fought 2 flyweights. So I fought Liz Carmouche and I fought Caitlin Chukagian. And one of the things I think that kept me going during that time too was knowing how close those losses were to women that were very, very high level in the sport. So like a split decision to Sarah McMahon, you know, a very controversial decision to Liz Carmouche. Like when those are your losses, you know, I had a very close fight with Caitlin Chukagian, who has an incredible record in the UFC. And it's like, these aren't blowouts. Like I said, I've never been finished in my career. And so I would look at those fights and I would think to myself, like, it's so close. Like the win is right there. The best performance of my career is just, it's right in front of me. I just need to be able to reach a little bit further to get it. You know, maybe if I'd been getting finished or if I'd been getting like smoked in those fights, perhaps my attitude would have been a little bit different, but it was easy to keep going because those fights were so close. So when they opened up the flyweight division, I just knew it was like another chance for me to kind of renew my career, reinvigorate myself. And I started working with a really great nutritionist who's helped me make 125. I'm very my weight is very, very on point this morning. We're a little bit ahead of schedule for the weight cut. I feel great. I feel very strong in practice. And yeah, I feel like I'm right sized for this division.
That's excellent. When you start to see the UFC 266 promotion stuff come out and you're prominent on the poster and you're in a title fight and there's all the pre-fight cameras following you around. I mean, do you get like this is where I was supposed to be all along feeling?
No, I just think like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I think it's so badass, man. It's badass that I get to be on all these promos. It's cool that I'm on a card with Nick Diaz. Like, that's so sick, you know? It's cool to be the co-main event. Like, you know, we're going to have like the big walkout and it's just going to be an awesome experience. I just want to enjoy it all.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got to savor the flavor while it's there, and you've made the most of opportunities. And now you got Valentina. How much do you think her incredible run at this weight class, which is certainly a tip of the cap to her ability, but do you think she's getting to the point where she is out psyching some of the opponents ahead of these title fights because of her dominance?
Oh, certainly. You know, that's one of the benefits of being a dominant champion is that you get that mental edge over your opponents before they even get in the cage with you. So that's really like, she's earned that. She has earned that kind of ability to defeat people before they even face her, you know? And she definitely deserves it. She's out there finishing people. She's a very dominant champion. And that definitely plays a part when her opponents walk into the cage. And I think it's one of the best things about me is that I'm mentally so strong. Like it's when I'm fighting, I focus on the moment. I focus on enjoying myself. I focus on carrying out the game plan that my team has set. I try to fight exactly the way that I've been sparring in the gym. I think about what I need to do from every position and what I can do next. And when you're thinking about that kind of stuff, there's no room to think about who you're even fighting. Like the person in front of you just becomes another body. And that's what I want. I'm not out there fighting her reputation. I'm not fighting her name. I'm not fighting her past fights. I'm fighting another really tough girl, just like I've been doing for the last 10 years. And I'm going to keep doing what's been working for me, which is focusing on the moment, focusing on my game plan and being tough as hell and shocking the world.
You know, that mental edge that you talk about that you feel that you have and that you've been showing as well, that do you think that's taught? Does life's experiences give that to you or are you born with that?
I think it's a little bit of both. Some people naturally have it more than others. I think I was born a very tough person. I've been a very tough person since I was little. I can remember as a child, like people commenting on how tough and strong I was, like just like even teachers, other kids, my parents, like I used to hate it because I thought it made me less feminine or maybe like a little less girly, or like I didn't like it when I was younger, but now it serves such a great purpose. I think you can also train that into people. People can train themselves to be tougher and they can train themselves to have more perseverance. But I'm very grateful that I naturally have it. And it's not just shown in my career, but it's been shown throughout my whole life. I can look back on my whole life, even before I was a fighter, and think about the times that, you know, I was going through very, very hard times in my life, and I was able to persevere and turn it around and build something better for myself. And I've done that like in my life many times. I've done it in my career. I've done it in fights. You know, I'm just very grateful that I get to have that because it's a very valuable asset to have as a fighter.
How influential would you say your Alaskan upbringing has been on who you are today as a person? Because I love meeting people when they say they're from that great state, because it's still the, you know, the last frontier, the wild, wild, wild Northwest. How much has that, you know, made you the person you are?
Alaskan girls kick ass, man. There's no other way to say it. And Alaskans are tougher. We're just built different. We're built different. And growing up in Alaska has definitely made me a better person, I think, than I would have been if I had been born anywhere else. I love being from Alaska. I love telling people that I'm Alaskan. And I love to go home and see that great state whenever I can. So yeah, being Alaskan definitely plays a big part in who I am and how tough I am and how strong I am. I mean, I'm a fucking tank, dude, really. Like, I'm a tank. So, and I relish that now. I love that about myself. And I don't think I would be like that if I had grown up anywhere else.
Love it. Love it. When you look at the great champion, Valentina Shevchenko, what holes do you see in her game? And I don't mean that as a trick question or anything. No one's perfect. She's close, but what do you see when you watch the tape?
I think that she doesn't really have very many at all. I think she's a great grappler. She has an amazing clinch, very good takedowns. Her grappling defense is very, very good. I think that obviously she's very well known for her kickboxing, but it's not really that I'm looking for weaknesses in her game, because it's at this level, everybody's very good. Nobody gets to this level in the UFC if they have weaknesses. Those days are over, you know, where it was like, oh, you're good at one thing. Nobody does that anymore. But everybody makes mistakes. You never get to a level so high where you never make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And she's for sure going to make some mistakes in this fight, and so am I, but I'm going to capitalize on hers, and that's going to be my opportunity to win.
Are you preparing, or let me ask you, how are you preparing mentally different for this fight than you would a different, you know, any other fight? Is it like, oh, this is a championship fight, so we must do everything extra special and different and crazy and dangerous? I mean, is it any difference in your mind the way you're prepping for this one?
Not too different. Every fight, I think you have to be very mentally strong. Every fight presents challenges, and it's really the act of like overcoming those challenges that makes fighting, or I guess any sport, but the only one I've ever played is fighting. So that's what makes fighting so gratifying, is able to overcome those challenges and training for that, and then seeing that training pay off. So I wouldn't say that we're like doing anything extra different or special to mentally prepare for this fight. There's some little things that we do. Like when I spar, we practice the walkouts, since they're going to be a little bit longer. There's going to be like, I'm going to walk to the cage, and then there's going to be a pretty long time period where I'm waiting for her, and the lights are turning off and on, and all the, you know, all the bells and whistles are going off. And so stuff like that, I think you can kind of mentally prepare for. You know, I have a very good sparring partner here, very, very good sparring partner who emulates her look very well. And so those are the kind of like the little things that we can do to mentally prepare. But mostly I think it's about, you know, finding my flow state, staying in the moment, rolling with the punches, and not getting too jacked up about how big the moment can feel, you know, because at the end of the day, it's another fight against another tough chick, just like I've been doing my whole career, you know. And so when I focus on that kind of stuff, it kind of takes everything else out of the equation.
Right. I think that's a smart way of doing it. It's not like you haven't fought on the pay-per-view card before. It's not like you haven't seen the bright lights, but to go through the walkthroughs, at least you know what you're getting into. How much do you visualize the moment, though? Is that bad luck to do that, or is that part of the mental training to envision lifting that title, envision that exhale of I've climbed this mountain?
Oh yeah, I visualize it for sure. I mean, and I just have to keep in mind that I don't know how it's actually going to go. I don't know how I'm going to win. I can't sit here and visualize like I'm going to knock her out in the first round and visualize that over and over again. Some fighters that might work very well, but for me, I try to imagine different things happening. I visualize like what it's going to feel like when Dana White puts the belt around my waist. Yeah, I visualize it a lot of different ways, and some of them, like sometimes I start visualizing and I do get kind of jacked up and I'll be like very excited. And so then that's when I kind of have to remind myself like, okay, we're not there yet. Like, stay in the moment.
I don't want to say if you, because I want to say when because you are preparing to defeat Valentina Shevchenko and become a UFC champion. So when you do that, UFC 266, who do you think besides yourself is going to be the most proud at seeing you achieve all of your dreams and go through all those years of hard work to get to this point?
The most proud? It's hard to say. It'll either be myself, my husband, or my son. One of the three of us.
Beautiful stuff there. Can't wait to see you in this fight. It should be a great night. UFC 266. When you go in there against the champion, Valentina Shevchenko, best of luck. It was great talking to you. This should be a good night at the office for everyone. Check it out.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.